It's a 2025 Lancaster Archery Classic. We're at the Spooky Nook Sports Complex here in Manheim, Pennsylvania. And yeah, the Lancaster Archery Supply trailer is in the middle of the complex. So when you come here, you get to buy all the stuff you want. And there's even a shuttle that'll take you to the actual store a little ways down the road. But this is the shoot-up finals in the largest indoor archery tournament on the East Coast. It is chilly outside, but it is nice and warm inside. And as the day continues to roll on, the crowd continues to fill up here in the finals arena. Hello, everyone. I'm Greg White, sitting alongside world champion Steve Anderson, as we're going to bring you these final matches for the next couple of hours and have a good time. Steve, how has your weekend been here? We've been here since, what, Wednesday, Thursday time frame?
Yeah, and I'm a spectator only this weekend, but we won't go into that. But it's fun to watch. It's fun to be a spectator here. There's a lot happening. Whether you want to shoot or not, you should come out here and enjoy the Lancaster Archery Classic. Yeah,
and on deck right now is our open category. It's amateur open. It's our largest category, and we're going to have 8 shooters. But here's the way it works. In this particular class, 8 qualified. The rank ties are broken by 11s, and it's a bottom-up format. And this is where it gets super exciting. So the 8th and 7th seed are going to shoot off against each other. Whoever wins, going to go shoot against the number 6. Whoever wins that against 5, and so on. And we've seen it before where the number 8 seed has marched their way all the way up to number 1. It's a lot of arrows. But, Steve, there's special scoring here in the finals.
Right. So we do have the 12 ring that comes into play. The standard scoring at the Lancaster Classic, your X ring in the very center of the target is an 11. And you've got 10, 9, 8, 7, and so forth. And then here in the finals, we've got the 12 ring, which is a 1.5 centimeter white dot. It sits, intersects the 7 and 8 line down in the red there. You got to call it, and you can call it once per end.
But now it's time to welcome the archers to the field of play. For our open category, here is PJ Riley.
All right, here we go with our open division. This is our biggest division here at the Classic. Starting off with our number 8 seed from Dundee, Michigan, Ryan Locke. And our number 7 seed from Brookfield, Ohio, William O'Brien.
All right, Steve Anderson, one of my favorite things about the Lancaster Archery Classic is the fact that every arrow you shoot makes a difference. It's an accumulation of your qualification score with your elimination matches, and they shot 3 elimination matches each to get to this point. And so for Ryan Locke, your number 8 seed, he qualified in the 56th position with 641 points, but he was able to shoot 129, 129, 126 in his victories. So he has a total of 1,025, where William O'Brien was your 55th qualifier who shot his way, shot a little bit better. So he has a total points accumulated of 1,033, and that's what makes him the 7th seed.
Yeah, that's for Ryan, you know, squeaking in that last match specifically, 125, that need a little bit of help from your competitor to get in there, or 126 rather.
Yep.
Ryan has been a guy who is always flirting with being one of the top pros for a long time. I think he's, you know, had to move into a career and things like that. So now competing as an amateur.
Yeah, and you have the ability to do that in this tournament, but still. So for this class, it's so massive in the open category that they cut the top 64. But the fact that you're the 56th seed and you're able to shoot your way up, and you know what, we see that sometimes with people.
Yeah,
they may not be the best qualifiers, but when they get to the head-on, you know, the head-to-head competition.
Ryan's a really good shooter. He'll make the most of this, I think. I would not be surprised if he made a pretty big run
from 7th place. And we'll try to keep track of how many arrows these archers are going to shoot if we do see someone from this bottom half start to rip their way up towards the number 1 seed. 11. All right, so like Steve mentioned, it's a 40-centimeter target. The innermost ring is worth 11 points. There is a 12 at play. There's a button behind the archers on the platform they stand if they choose to call it. 11. There's only 1 per end allowed. I'm lobbying trying to get that changed, Steve, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see each and every arrow.
Like save up the 4 and then be able to pick and choose when you use them. 4 ends. Let's go to PJ.
Out here in men's open, William O'Brien, welcome to the Classic final stage. Have you been up here before?
No, I have not.
Have you been to the tournament before?
Yes.
How many times?
This is my third.
Third time. All right, this is what you've been trying to do. How's it feel now that you're up there?
It feels great.
All right, I like the positivity. Run through your gear for us if you can.
Shooting the PSE Dominator Duo, Hamsky Trinity, Excel Sight, Shrewd Scope, Easton Arrows, Biter Knocks, Tack Vanes.
Bowstring?
Whatever PSE has on them.
Factory strings. All right. Well, William, we appreciate you coming out here over the years. It's looking like we have...
So it looked like for O'Brien, he had a 9 asterisk on his arrow number 2. And judge had to look at it, and it was indeed a 9, so it didn't get upgraded. So 32 to 31 after the first end of 4. And of course, if we're tied after 4 ends, then we're going to a tiebreaker. And we'll explain that when we get there. Chances are, with the matches we have coming up, so we have open category right now. We just kicked that off. There's 8 matches to go through. Then we're going to go to the Women's Open Pro category where they have 4 that have qualified. And then we go to the Men's Open Pro category where we also have 8. So there's only 3 categories remaining, but we have a ton of archery to get through.
A lot of stuff to happen, a lot of excitement. I hope we get some real barn burners out of this.
Oh yeah, I want to see people start hitting that 12 button.
So you mentioned, you know, maybe changing it up. What if there was a mandatory 12 shot? You had to shoot at the 12 once, and it's either a 12 or a 9 or worse.
I like that. Why don't you comment, you know, if you're watching this, you got to comment. What do you think? Do you like the 1 12 per end? Do you think it should be just 4 12s and you can use them anywhere? Or do you like Steve's idea that it's got to be mandatory that you have to shoot at the 12? Let us know in the comment section below.
I guess you could do it mandatory 12 if you just shot center at the yellow. You would score 9 no matter what, you know. And then if you went for that 12, you could, you know, you run the risk of a 7 or an 8.
Yeah.
But it would be fun to see.
Definitely would be.
11.
He's found his stride here.
He has.
Got one that's close. They've marked it with an asterisk. I think he's probably going to get it, but there's a judge who's going to walk right up to it, and I'm looking at it from about 18 yards away, so we'll let them make the call.
11.
All right, let's hear it for these archers. Ryan Locke, 65, only dropped 1 point. Ryan.
All right, let's get to PJ.
How many times have you been on the Classic stage?
3 times.
3 times. So I saw you were 2017 second place finisher, which I believe was our first year here. So you've been there in between. Have you been in this setup since we've had it?
No.
What do you think of it? What's the difference?
I like the lighting and stuff better.
You like the lighting better. All right. Well, Ryan, run through your equipment for us if you could.
Dominator Duo, Excel Sight, Freak Show Rest, AE, Bee Stinger Stabilizers, Podium Plus Bowstrings, Stand, Onyx Release, Easton Arrows.
And you got Biter Knocks, looks like there?
Yep.
All right, Ryan. Well, it is definitely working for you. After 2 ends, we have a 1-point difference still in favor of Ryan Locke, 65-64.
All right, so 2 ends to go, 1-point difference. PJ reminded them, don't forget that 12 button as he's trying to encourage these archers to come on out. I think, you know, you're a little far away from the podium on this one.
Ryan with a chance to push the lead does not get it. Remains a 1-point deficit for O'Brien. He's going to need to get going.
When you see those shots from behind the archers, you get a good look at what they're looking at, there is a 30-second shot clock per arrow. Once the competitor's arrow impacts the target, the 30 seconds starts for the next competitor. Plenty of time, 30 seconds to let down. We've seen compound, barebow, and Olympic recurve all let down and have good shots after.
So if I'm O'Brien, I would shoot at the 12 here. I think he has 2 10s. I don't think the second one is in. And he's running the risk of being trailing by 2 points. Just feel like you got to go get it. Compound guys are too precise these days.
All right, great shooting, guys. You know, I mentioned that Open is our biggest class. There's 3 divisions at the Classic where we run through 8 finalists. One is barebow, one is Open Pro, and Open is the 3rd one. This is our biggest class. These finalists here, our final 8, they were competing in a class of 383 this weekend. So these guys on the final stage, they earned it. Let's hear it for them.
And really, when we look at the finals cut, so in this particular case, they go the top 8 that are in the shoot-up. It is based on class, and that's why the class size itself. That's why you see barebow, open barebow, or men's barebow, I guess you could say, that has 8. This class has 8, and then the men's open pro, which is compound, go 8. All the rest of the classes are sitting at the top 4. But Steve, the reality is that people look at making the cut here at Lancaster Archery Classic as just win number 1, don't they?
Yeah, there's an accomplishment in that. And, you know, for everybody, you've got, you know, maybe a different set of goals or a different score goal that you're working towards. And then everyone wants to watch what a projected cut line will be throughout the weekend. You know, in Open Pro, it's typically around that, I want to say it's been like 648-ish, but it moves up and down a little bit every year. So I didn't see what it is here for the amateur open class, but you know, it is an accomplishment just to make the cut and get in and get to compete in the head-to-head matches.
All right, so final end of this match.
Yeah, and O'Brien's was his last end. He did have that one that was close. It was called a 10, so he's got a 2-point deficit to make up and only 1 opportunity at a 12 ring.
And his competitor, Ryan Locke from Michigan, has
see,
only dropped 2 points this whole match.
Yeah, Ryan's got a chance to make it a 3-point match and then effectively end it with a pretty easy arrow to finish it out. This is a critical one for Ryan.
All right, we know that O'Brien has called for the 12.
Yep, there it is for Ryan. They've got it. There we go.
Yeah, a little update.
Yeah.
All right, so going for the 12 ring,
Yeah.
1.5 centimeter dot that Steve was talking about. A lot of movement right now.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to get.
Yeah.
So now Ryan's got a pretty easy finish here. Basically score an arrow and he's good to go.
Wow, what a great way to finish. It's hard for us to see with the shadows there, but here's BJ.
At that 12, that thing is very tiny. William, before you run out there, men's open, so you guys are largely amateurs. Where do you shoot back home? Oh, I know where you shoot.
Yeah, I shoot at Golden Grain Archery.
Golden Grain Archery, great program up there. How long have you been shooting there?
I've been shooting about 4 years competitively.
All right. We love the folks at Golden Grain. William O'Brien is going to finish in 8th place here at the Classic. $500 he's going to take from us. Let's give it up for William O'Brien a second. All right. So Ryan Locke is going to move on to face our number 6 seed from Zanesville, Ohio, Nate Harper. 2024 runner-up last year in bow hunter.
And there's always an interesting conversation about what journey each archer has taken to come into archery. And a lot of times we find with compound archery that at least the first three that we've seen so far in this category, each one of them has come into competitive archery through hunting.
Yeah, pretty common here in the U.S. You know, you get into it with a parent, uncle, somebody like that, and then you eventually find your way into enjoying the shooting side of it the most, and you start competing a lot.
And of course, for Nate Harper, comes in as 2024 Vegas Bow Hunter champion, and he was runner-up here last year at this one.
In the bow hunter class, so yeah, he's made some moves.
Now for Nate, he was actually the number 3 qualifier. He came in with 651 points scored after qualification. However, he had a couple of low-scoring matches at 126, 126. So after all the points accumulated for the entire weekend were added up, it moved Nate down from their 3rd place 660 round qualifier down to 6th place.
And we're seeing Ryan, he's still on a good roll here. He's sighted in, and I think I predicted he might make a run here.
Yeah, he's
He's a
certainly
good shooter. Knows what he's doing. See, in our previous match, we talked about William potentially should have shot for the 12, the 3rd end, rather than waiting for the 4th. There's some risk to that, obviously. There's some guys who want to just continue to try to plug away at the 11 ring and hope that the other guy falters. There's some guys who are going to chase it, be more aggressive, and try to make it happen for themselves. And you know, if you could hit a 12 in that 3rd ring, you get a big, or that 3rd end, you get a big momentum shift out of it. But you could also just end your match really quick.
And let's get to PJ.
Nate, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm just fine, thanks. So, bow hunter last year, open this year. Why the switch?
Just trying something new. I think it's exciting.
Why not? Well, hey, listen, run through your equipment for us.
So I'm shooting a Hoyt Invicta. I got True Ball Excel, sight and scope, Widowmaker bars. We got Rogue bowstring, specialty peeps. Easton arrows are the best. And that's all.
And your knocks?
I don't know.
Because I don't recognize them either. All right. Nate Harper, welcome back to the Lancaster Archery Classic final stage. It looks like after one end, okay, that is confirmed. Ryan Locke with a 1-point lead, 32-31.
It's 32-31, and this is what you're going to see out of this category, even though this is amateur shooting. Each one of these athletes, especially as we get closer and closer to the top, you're going to start seeing some 33s per end. And we could definitely be on our way to some shoot-offs. In this open category, too, a lot of people have asked over the years with this particular tournament, if people are shooting the exact same way, how do you determine your ranking after your 660 round? And the thing is one of the rules when you're at your qualification round that you don't have to do in the finals is you need to number your targets. So let's say that I like to shoot top, just like that shot. Then I want to go bottom left. That would be my number 2. And number 3 is going to be on the right. You have to mark those. And so you score them as you shoot them. So one of the differentiators between, say, William O'Brien, who got knocked out, and Nate Harper, who's on the stage right now, they both shot, you know, like the same, like a similar score in terms of the amount of points accumulated, but it was the first X miss that they had all the way back in qualifying that determined who was the different rank. And so that's another different way that a lot of different tournaments that we have around the country don't do.
Right. Yeah, it's entirely different, and it's kind of weird for some people when you're calling score because you might just look at the arrows and call them, but in this one you need you know, be mindful of the order of operations for
Exactly.
how each person
So not
shoots.
only does every single arrow count, as that one
incredible
drops
one.
low 9, but every arrow point value counts, but also every arrow in the order
Yeah,
of
the
which you
win.
shot.
The win.
Yep. The wind.
The when.
Oh.
W-H-E-N.
Yeah.
When you miss that arrow.
Yeah, when
so-
you do, yeah.
Yep.
I was like, well, you think that 9 was the air conditioning?
That 9's going to haunt him there, but I do think it's only going to cost him 1 point.
Yeah, but here's this. But this is what we're talking about, though, right? If you shoot a 9 here, now he's got an option the next end to jump on the
Go
12.
get a 12, yeah.
Go get a 12.
Get it back.
Go get those points back. That's one of those weird gambling things.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I go to the slot machine in Vegas. You know, I drop $10 in and I'm down. So I'm going to go, all right, I'm going to go put $20 in and win it back.
Right.
It's like, is that really a good strategy?
Depends on how much money you got.
Right, but at least in this situation, you have a lot more control.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're aiming at it. So
If you feel confident in the 12 ring, then I think you go after it earlier and you try to get the momentum back, or, you know, flip the script on them and get the lead. It's just a matter of, if the other guy's pretty solid, and he's not really, like Ryan's been solid, he's not leaving the 10 ring thus far. I'm not counting on him to shoot a big 9. So I'm assuming I got to go get it on my own, you know.
but also maybe, like, especially if you don't really know Ryan like you have over the years, taking the risk of shooting a 12 down there, that they know you're capable of it. And I think that there's the possibility, depending on how the archer reacts, that you're putting some pressure on him early ends.
Yes.
That's what we saw in the last year when we were doing this
in the pro class, they feel like they have to.
Yeah.
Like there's almost no choice because they know that everyone can shoot a clean score. So I better go get it. And the first guy who doesn't shoot a 12 might be the guy who goes home.
Yeah. So for Ryan Locke, 311, 310 so far for 63 points in our first 2 ends. There's 4 total ends. As he draws that bow back. Dude, I'm just loving that stabilizer wrap, I have to say.
11.
There he goes. He's doing it. You got it. All right, now you gotta turn around and shoot an 11 now. You know, if you're Nate, you can't give one back. You gotta capitalize on it.
11.
So Ryan maintains a 1 point lead with that. Oh, see, that's where, yeah, you gotta. I think you want to save that 12 for the last arrow.
I see what you're saying.
That way, it gives them something. You hit it, gives them something to chew on through the next end. You know, so if you hit it, you get a little energy bump, a little adrenaline rush, and then that next arrow's hard. But he might just want to shoot at target 1 or bottom left.
But you have to give Ryan Locke credit. He heard, you know, he literally was going to full draw when the crowd erupted on that 12, was able to hold his composure and then drop his best end so far of this match, 33. The max points you can get per end would be a 34, right? 2 11s and a 12, but the typical normal is going to be the 33.
Yep.
That's a good looking. So we saw a competitor earlier today, piped it inside out.
Oof.
Inside out with a 27 on that 1.5 centimeter 12 ring. So I had said, Steve, you know, I just, you know, it's a lot of time to kill here on the broadcast, and I was just thinking, wouldn't it be nice if Lancaster maybe offered a little, the first person to pipe it inside out 12 gets an extra $1,000 or something?
I mean, I don't want to spend their money.
Me
but
either.
Yeah, let's incentivize more 12 ring shots.
I'm just saying, gift card or something maybe? I don't know.
There you go.
This tournament's amazing as it is anyway, and to be honest, Lancaster Archery Supply, They put out a lot of prize money, and then all the sponsors here jump on board as well. Like I tell you, I saw something that I was really surprised about was, you know, Hoyt pays contingency in the Masters class. I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, and giveaway bows. You know, there was a bow giveaway.
Yes,
during
that's right.
A girl from Sweden won the bow.
I think you guys are going to make out on that deal. That is an up-and-coming talent who made the stage and was shooting the Final Four yesterday, and she won a Hoyt bow.
I'm very excited for it.
Yeah,
So,
looking good.
all right, let's see if Nate. I'm assuming he's going to call 12 here again.
You think he'll do it this time, or
Yeah,
wait till the end?
I think he likes to shoot at that target, is what it is.
9.
Ooh.
Okay, so now the
Now it's a
conversation
1
opens up.
point.
Do I call for it or don't I call for it? He does. Now, the one thing I will say is
I
that
don't think I would have yet.
Tim Gillingham, who won on a 12, made the comment that he likes aiming at something smaller. It makes him more focused.
Yeah, Tim is.
7.
See, now the game's over. That's why I think you gotta wait till the very last one. Know if you need it.
Yeah, because if Ryan shoots another 9 here, if he got
It doesn't
rattled,
matter,
then you wouldn't
yeah.
have had to shoot at it.
Yeah, Ryan
Like-
can shoot an 8 and still have a 2-point lead.
10, 11, 1.
Yeah, that's it's a strategy error, is what I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with there.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I think if he had hit that, now this arrow's tougher, Nate. Now he's gonna be hyped up, psyched.
Yeah.
He's got to go shoot another 11, but you know now it's kind of a moot point.
11.
So Ryan, another match win if he just puts it in the target effectively. I mean, he's got to shoot a 7 to tie. You don't see a lot of arrows in the red from the
Not a
compound
lot.
group.
11.
Boy, I like Ryan's shot. Got a good, strong bow arm. He's got a nice, relaxed, you know, bow hands. It's good. Let's get to PJ.
Nate Harper is going to finish 6th here at the Lancaster Archery Classic. Take home $800 from us. Let's give it up for Nate Harper. All right. That brings us to our number 4 seed from Milan, Michigan, Blake Ballou.
So Blake Ballou coming in here off of a 12th place qualifier, 648 points. Oh, we're going to do Hunter. Yeah, we're going to do Hunter Garrison. Yeah, let's do Hunter from Pennsylvania.
Well, Hunter and Blake knew what was up. They sent
Yeah.
the right person out.
Of course they did. You were like, he's wearing somebody else's shirt. So Hunter Garrison comes in here, our 15th place qualifier after our 660 round with a 648 and a couple good elimination matches, giving him a total points of 1,034 to place him in the number 5 seed. But right now, the hot ticket, as we all know, is Ryan Locke, our 8th place qualifier. Marching his way up. Keep in mind that Ryan Locke qualified 56th, and was able to squeak in as the bottom seed into this shoot-up final for our 21st Lancaster Archery Classic. And right now, as Steve Anderson predicted, he's on a bit of a tear, and he's got an opportunity to go up 1 point after the first arrow.
Smoked it too. Yeah, he's got a good roll. Sighted in well, comfortable. All is good. Just gonna keep trucking towards the podium.
11.
Shoot-ups are tough, man. It's tough to be at the top because, you know, especially those 4-person shoot-ups. I think those you almost want to be 3rd or 4th. Get the first match, second match, third match, be done. The 8-person, there's a little bit of a longevity. It'll wear you out. There's a lot of adrenaline running. No matter what, you're gonna find it at some point, and that's just gonna make you tired.
9, 10, 9.
So like Ryan's, I think he's gonna get to the podium, but you'll run into somebody who comes out hot, and you'll hit your wall a little bit, and then it gets really tough.
11.
The other
You
thing
see
too.
the benefit there. Start at 11-11.
Here we go. Let's get to PJ.
On this side. Apologies for your introduction there. Ruined your big walkout. But you're up here anyway.
Yep.
So, Annville, Pennsylvania, right down the road. I got to start. What club do you shoot out of?
Palmyra Sportsman's.
Elmira Sportsman, great local club. Turned out a lot of archers. Hunter, let's go through your equipment here.
I'm shooting Bowtech Reckoning Gen 2, Shrewd Scope with a CB sight, Freak Show Rest, Dead Center Bars, Triple X arrows.
What strings and what nocks you got there?
There are strings from Sotira Creek Archers.
And your nocks, you're shooting pin nocks. I think they're gold tips. Gotcha. All right, Hunter, welcome to the Lancaster Archery Classic final stage. After our first end, Ryan Locke shot a perfect 33, Hunter Garrison 31.
All right, so 2 points. Now, Steve, we were kind of talking right before that end wrapped up about what position to be in. Now, the thing I want to kind of bring up, too, is a couple of things. Number one, when you're Ryan Locke and you're the 8th seed, you're the one who starts your warm-up, starts practicing a little bit early. So there needs to be some discipline to understand how many arrows I need to shoot to warm up, because if you make the run from 8th place to the number 1 seed, any guess on how many arrows you're going to have to shoot if there's no tiebreakers?
So if you go through 7 matches, 12, I mean, the math on that says 84 arrows.
Yeah, math on that's correct.
Yeah.
84 arrows. That's quite a bit.
I'm glad I got the math right.
You nailed it.
Right there, yeah.
Not me. I'm writing it down on paper.
Ryan has given one up here. I'm not sure what it is. They're saying 9 asterisks, so we'll get the call on that later, but might be a sign of some fatigue or something. I still think he's going to probably pull this match win.
11.
There he goes, back on track.
Nice surprise shot from Garrison in the 11 ring. This arrow pretty critical to keep it where he needs to have it.
10.
Okay, so we could have tied match.
All right, let's hear it, please, guys. Putting on a show for us in the open division. Ryan, what club do you shoot for back home, or where do you shoot?
Yeah, Steve, looking at that arrow, I mean, looks like it's.
I think he's going to get it. I didn't get the light on enough, but I think he's going to get it. That one's solid.
Let's talk about something that you were involved with a couple of years ago, adding a little bit of color to aluminum arrows, because there was a long time there where Easton had aluminums that were all silver, and then somebody came up with a great idea looking at carbon arrows and how it looks to the eye.
Kind of expands the whole.
When you made those arrows two-tone, because you used to work at Easton and you made the bottom half of those 27s black, was that because you wanted a marketing thing, or was that because you really understood that more arrow calls tend to go the way of the archer if the shaft is?
You get the feedback from guys that they think that. The cool thing about the aluminums that are silver is you have a distinction of that arrow. Like, those are some old aluminums. They haven't been made in 12 years or so, but it's an X7 Eclipse that is, or an X7 Cobalt that is blue, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So it's when you see an aluminum arrow, it's distinct in the quiver, and that's cool. But yeah, guys did kind of request, hey, we like the black, so it's cool. You can do two-tone. It's easy enough. Occasionally get some splashing from the anodize that
I just
blends a few arrows.
I think my scores have gone up a little bit since I switched to that. Get those line calls every now and then.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
There's argument to be made that the all silver ones reflected the line a little bit too.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to.
Yeah, it is hard to say.
I think if you're lobbying on, or if you're banking on your arrow getting you a call, you're probably not the guy who's going to win anyways. So Ryan did not get that 10 or that 9 in last in. They did call it out, but he has possibly evened it up. Now Hunter has a close arrow that they're going to need to get a judge on. But a good tight match here.
And the 12 in his back pocket if he needs it, which he's going to need it potentially.
There's also the opportunity to go for the 12 for the win too.
Yeah, that's always pressure packed.
I don't think I aim it at that. I don't aim in the red well enough to do that.
So there's two ways to aim at that 12 too.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about those ways, the two different ways to aim, and what would you do?
So we saw a young man in the youth class who moved his sight. You know, he knew he needed to move X number of clicks so he could still aim in the center of the yellow, but impact down in the 12, there in the red. Other people, most of the pros, they're just aiming at the 12, you know, and that's what I have historically done. I have not been on the Lancaster stage since they introduced this, but some of our local events have introduced this 12 ring as a part of our tournament. So, yeah, I think you're better off just aiming at it, but you need a reticle to work with you. You need to be comfortable with aiming in the red.
Would you shoot a fiber pin or would you shoot a dot?
I'd still shoot a dot just because I need to shoot good enough to get in. You know, and I'd worry about the 12 ring after the fact. So,
see, I think for me, because I shoot a dot, I would probably go to the clicks because the dot that I would use would cover that 12.
It's just too big to aim at that fine. Yeah,
I think so.
The reason why, you know, you can get away with a big dot aiming in the center because you've got a concentric circle of the yellow. So you're not necessarily aiming at the middle, you're aiming at the middle of the yellow. So a lot of times you're using the exterior of the yellow to gauge your status or your sight picture within the center of the target there. So it's different when all of a sudden you go down and you aim in the center of a U-shaped red, right?
Yeah, it definitely will mess with your brain.
Yeah, that's why you see guys barely miss the X ring and miss the 12 ring really big. It's just creates a different sight picture. A lot of times your subconscious is what's actually finishing it, and your subconscious is not accustomed to the sight picture that the 12 ring gives you.
And for Ryan Locke right now, going 11-11, he's going to choose if he needs that 12 for the last arrow. This is the final end. This is your number 8 seed shooting off against your number 5 seed. So he's done his job in terms of 11s to this point. Now, this arrow is going to determine what Locke is going to do. If this is an 11, got it. So the 12 is called. This is to tie the match and send us into our shoot-off. He got it.
Yeah, he smoked it too.
Wow, he nailed it. It's not over yet, though, so now we wait for the official. So he gets the maximum points scored. There's no doubt about that one. Oh, that's so close to inside out, too. So for Ryan Locke, your 8th place qualifier, right now we look like we're going to be all tied. That's on the back of a maximum score, 34. Here's what the tiebreakers look like. Sudden death, higher scoring ring. 12 ring is in play for the first 2 arrows. Archer must call that 12 ring. If a 3rd arrow is needed closest to the center, X wins. So basically, we're just going score. So if Steve shoots, he shoots an 11, I shoot a 10, Steve wins. If we both shoot 10s, we go to another arrow. If we shoot 11s apiece in the 2nd arrow, then we go to that 3rd arrow closest to the center wins. So score first, and then sudden death.
I really like this as a tiebreaker. I think World Archery should adopt something like this. You know, the 1 arrow closest to center anymore, 2 guys can. There's an argument to be made about what is center and how it's measured.
Yeah.
And in indoor archery, it can become problematic. as well. So this is a good way to do it. You still decide it off score with, almost, you can run almost a full end of play once more. Or you can run a full end of play, just a little different with that final arrow.
He's calling 12.
This is interesting. He's trying to win it.
Hunter Garrison is going straight for the jugular.
It's an all or nothing move. Ooh, man, this is tough.
That's a close call,
Now
too.
Ryan doesn't know. He doesn't know, and he's got the clock ticking.
Yeah.
His coach thinks it's in.
Okay.
So he's called 12.
Casey Kaufhold is there on the microphone on the spotting scope, and
Yeah.
she said close. She didn't make a call.
She's at the wrong angle to really see. He got it.
Oh,
for
he got
sure.
it. So now we wait for an arrow call.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if they're both 12s, we're going to go to another arrow. I'm sorry. I love what Hunter Garrison just did. He went straight after it.
There's Ryan's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both got it. Dude, if you're Hunter right now, you're going like, come on, man. Like, what do I got to do to win this
Yeah,
thing?
leave me alone. He's like a barnacle that just won't break away.
There you go. Okay, so off we go to arrow number 2. And Hunter Garrison.
He's, man, I don't know about this.
Yeah, this is like statistically, this is a tough shot.
I think I would shoot at the 11, and I would just try to keep it,
But on the other hand, Steve,
Got it. Yeah, if you get it,
but
you're the man.
he already knows though that Ryan's able to, capable
Yeah.
of shooting 12. So if you
But
shot
still,
the 11 and Ryan had the advantage,
I mean, Ryan is 2 for 2.
2 for 2, he's
But
going for 3.
yeah, I like the odds that he's not going to smoke 3 in a row. If I'm Hunter, I'm about ready to cash some checks right here.
Got a lot of shooting to go. We need to zoom in on that one.
Just with a
Casey
light.
didn't even say anything.
It is
Oh.
just
no,
off,
I see some
think.
red. I see
Yeah,
some red.
I think it's just off.
What an effort, though. If this ends the 8th place seed's run, he did it in the best way possible.
You can see that arrow quivering in the target just because maybe the volleyball girls outside are creating a little floor shake.
It's true, yeah. There's a lot of volleyball going on. Yeah,
There's
so
the
that's
call.
it. This isn't 3D, folks. You can't pull a line, all right, in target archery.
It's pretty clear cut.
All of our
right?
3D people are going, no, that definitely pulled it. It
Yeah,
pulled it,
you're-
right?
You're the enemy now.
No. So, yeah, what an effort
Wow,
from Ryan
Hunter.
Locke.
Hunter is going for it, man.
All right, let's get to PJ.
Now, is Blake really coming out this time? Okay. All right. Our number 4 seed from Milan, Michigan, Blake Ballou.
All right, so for Blake, he makes note that all the way back in 2019, when this tournament made a legend, you all remember the CEO. Blake was top 8 here in 2019, and it was the CEO who took him out on his march up to the top.
I always love the CEO call. Like, the guy had a button-down shirt, and everyone's like, "Oh, he looks like a CEO." I'm like, okay,
Yeah, that was the internet
That
named
was
him.
the- yeah.
I was saying, he was a president, he was whatever, and the internet said he's the CEO, Tim Hanley. So I haven't seen Tim in a little while, but always a good dude, big fan, and he definitely brought so much prestige to the open category.
It was a big run that year.
Huge.
8-1. And he went on to compete as a pro after that, and he was pretty competitive.
Yep.
He's a good dude.
11,
All right, if you're just tuning in, this is the open class. This is the amateur category, the largest category here at the Lancaster Archery Classic. This is the 2025 edition. I'm Greg White, sitting next to world champ Steve Anderson. By the way, I just want to clear that up. I don't think that anybody's a former world champ. You're just not current world champ. That's why I don't say former world champ.
Yeah, they can't take it away from them.
That's all I'm saying.
I passed the drug test. So.
Yeah, that's what happened. So they're shooting 18 meters, just shy of 20 yards downrange at a 40-centimeter target. The innermost ring is worth 11 points, and they have this wild card 12. That ring that's sitting right there in between the 8 and the 7. You have to call it, and you're only allowed to call it once per end. The maximum points you can score in a single end is 34 points. And if you're new to archery, what we mean by end is each game has a certain amount of arrows that you shoot per end. In this case, it's 3. Outdoor could be 6, could be 4 in field. But we shoot an end of arrows, a group of arrows, then we go down and score them. So out of the gate, it looks like 32-31, but we'll have judges that'll go down. A judge will go down, take a look closely, and then we'll get the official score. But here's PJ.
Yeah, this is my second time. 2019 was my first time up here.
Gotcha. Now that I see your name spelling, I recognize that. Run through your equipment for us.
Yeah, I have Excel sight, Shrewd scope housing, Hoyt Stratos 40, bee stinger bars, gold tip arrows, Hamsky rests, UV button, yeah, gas strings.
And arrows and knocks.
Yep, shooting pin knocks, tack vanes, and gold tip X gutters, triple X's.
All right. Well, Blake, thanks for coming back to the Lancaster Archery Classic. We have a 1-point lead right now. Garrison Hunter 32, Blake Ballou 31.
All right, so after the first end, single point. 3 arrows per end, 4 ends total. If we end up in a tie at the end of that, we go to a tiebreaker. And for Blake, 15 years shooting. Hunter Garrison's been at it for 13 years in archery. And for this shooter right here, his parents coach at a local club. That's how he ended up starting in archery. He's the 19 outdoor national champ, 4th at the Classic in 2024. If he wins this match, he's guaranteed to at least match that. So the winner of this match will advance to the number 3 seed and guarantee themselves at least the top 4 position. And the loser of this match will be 5th place.
What kind of scratch is this paying out? Say you're 5th place. What's that pay? Do you know?
I don't know, but I know who knows.
Maybe PJ will say.
PJ knows. Here's a pocket guide. You want to look in the pocket guide?
I'll take a look in the pocket guide.
All right, take a look at the pocket guide. All right, so it looks like a 32 for Garrison in his end number 2, coming off of a gutsy 12 call in the shoot-off. Gets him back to back.
So win or lose, everyone's going home with at least $1,000 for now. So 5th place is $1,000.
That's awesome.
4th, $1,250. 3rd, $1,650. 2nd, $2,500, and the winner, 5 G's, baby.
5 G's. And look, if you're watching this live, or maybe you're watching this on down the road sometime in the middle of the summer on YouTube, this is an accessible tournament for everyone. There's so many classes. There's youth classes, but at the same time, there's another tournament going on as we speak. Out of where this tournament qualified, there's Easton Youth Championships going on, and this is just an amazing event. It continues to grow. This facility here at Spooky Nook Sports Complex can handle the growth, and it's got plenty of room for shooters, and it's just a lot of fun. Not to mention the fact, Steve, that vendor row, that area where the vendors are, continues to grow and be packed, and you get access to people like Steve Anderson, who up until about this broadcast started, spent most of his time in the Hoyt booth all weekend long.
Yeah, didn't get out of there much. And I would have shot, but I'm recovering from a dry fire.
It's tough recovering from a dry fire.
That was a joke.
I get that part. That was like yesterday when Kenneth Bronco got an interview and he's like, "Oh, you didn't know what to say." "I like turtles." Like, yeah.
Who did that?
Kenneth Bronco.
Okay, was that in the barebow class?
No. Bronco's a master's compound shooter.
Oh, okay.
And he was on stage here. Mel Nichols, his coach. He's part of the Pineapple crew.
Yeah.
And they went to interview him, and he kind of froze up. He totally locked up. He sees the piston, and he was like, just sitting there, and he goes, "I like turtles."
That's the classic YouTube kid.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like, I mean, he could have told him he loved corn, I guess, would have been the next one or something.
I guess so.
Yeah. We got a Hunter looking good. He doesn't want to have to shoot 12s to win this one anymore. You know, he's going to probably get out of this with a decent lead this end.
10,
3 or 4 points right now.
He's feeling the flow.
Working it.
11, 10, 9.
Close one there on top. We'll wait for that call to see what the point swing is, but I think, you know, looking at the qualifications, and the qualification is a 60 arrow round, and of course the innermost ring is worth 11 points, so it's a total of 660, Steve. But if you look at this class, I think the thing to note is that in the top 8, there were only 3 archers that were in the top 8 after qualification seeding. It was those elimination rounds and the total points they scored that got them into the top 8.
So 3 of the top 8 qualifiers advanced to the top 8 shoot up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at, you know, a couple of the scores. They're not as high as I've seen in the past. There was a couple of years where those amateur scores were ridiculous. Like Brad Baker one year, he's our second place qualifier. He shot a 659, I think. He was 1 point off. You know, I had people calling for his head. It's like the dude's he's an amateur shooter. He's not.
Yeah, he's got a full-time
job.
job.
He's not doesn't get to do this as a pro. And I think he won that year. He's a guy who I could see win this. I'm not surprised he's in the shoot-up, and I'm not surprised he took his 649 qualifier and backed it up with really good match scores to get himself in that second place overall.
Yep.
I didn't see what the high qualification score was. 653, is that our top? Yep, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But you're
653
absolutely right.
tops. But
There's been some
years where
59s,
it's,
58s.
Yeah, 55 or better is pretty common.
But
I guess those guys they want to compete in the pro class now. You know, that's if you can shoot a 55, you're pretty capable.
Which I 12 is called.
I think he went to push it and he missed it. PJ gave him an assist there. Made sure it was
Just off to the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that, I mean, he had to go for it. Again, I probably would have went for it an end earlier. He was trailing by 3 or 4.
Ooh. Hunter was really surprised by that shot. Gave it a little Bo Kwon-Do. Still hit the 11 ring, though.
11,
I've got a new name for the Bo Kwon-Do. Calling it the gourmet hamburger from now on.
The gourmet hamburger.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the thought behind that?
You're tossing it up.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have gone with the salad, but that seems a little weird.
Gourmet salad. You know, that probably makes more sense.
No, I like the gourmet. Well,
I don't know why I went with gourmet hamburger.
we'll go for it.
There was some other stuff that was thrown out in the back of the day.
So it looks like Hunter Garrison going to continue his romp. Looks like it's going to be a 130 to at least 123, maybe 124 victory. Of course, Steve mentioned his prize. Let's get to PJ.
All right. Hunter Garrison moves on, and he will take on our number 3 seed from Loganville, Georgia, Matthew Russell.
He's got 2 guys backing him.
Matthew Russell has got a huge fan club here.
Look at that. He's got like 2 guys walking out with him. Very
Gangster.
Yeah, pretty hyped entrance. The crowd had a flamboyant reaction.
I didn't realize this was wrestling.
I think it's his hair.
Think so?
Look at that. He's got a nice little flare coming out. He's got a little cheddar.
Little cheddar.
Yeah, the lettuce, as they call it.
Mm-hmm. The kids, is that what the kids call it?
That's my understanding.
All right. 9 years shooting.
That's the flamboyant, or the, not the flamboyant, the gourmet hamburger is the
hair.
lettuce, right? He's got the cheddar and the lettuce, so there it is.
I mean,
Boom.
there it is.
Yep. Stacking it up.
And this guy, 2 cadet world records to his credit, Matthew Russell. He's going to get after it straight away. Part of the University of Rio Grande team.
11.
Ooh, good start. Yeah, look at that. Matt's got a crowd here. He smoked that one, too.
10.
Yeah, when that bow went off, he was not, his dot was not where he wanted it to be. That'll give him 1 point up on this final arrow of our first end. Hunter Garrison, your number 5 qualifier. Now up to our number 3 qualifier. The winner of this match guarantees themselves a podium finish here.
Not only a podium finish, which is an honor in and of itself, but also a payout of
11.
at least $16.50. Third
Wow.
place, $16.50.
That's not even wrapping up contingency available. Let's go to PJ.
This match, Matt Russell, welcome back to the Lancaster Archery Classic stage. How many times have you been up here?
I've been up here, this will make my second time.
Second time. All right. Before we talk about, well, first let's talk about who you shoot for, because I see you got Hornets up there, Red Storm here. You shoot for everybody.
Yes, sir, I do.
And you got quite a crowd. Who's with you here in the crowd?
The University of Rio Grande archery team's behind me.
All right. Shout out to those guys. Matt, run through your equipment for me.
I'm shooting a Hoyt Stratos, Hamsky Trinity Rest, Shibuya sight. I'm running a UltraView scope, UltraView bars, and UltraView hinge 2 release.
And your arrows?
Easton Superdrive 27s.
All right. Looks like you got biter pin knocks as well.
Yes, sir.
All right. Shooting all that UV stuff. Can't see the George Riles influence at all. After our first end, we're going to have a 1-point lead for Hunter Garrison, 32-31.
Well, if I've been saying the University of Rio Grande incorrectly this whole time, I didn't realize it was the University of Rio Grande.
I didn't realize that the one he's at is in Ohio. Yeah.
So my apologies if that's really the case to all the people in Ohio.
11, 10, 9.
The collegiate archery thing's interesting. A lot of these colleges have kind of adopted it as a sport because they realize it's a niche thing, but it can help them
11.
get a little bit of a variety in their enrollees. So you see a lot of these smaller schools that are putting together archery teams and getting competitive and offering scholarships, and it does something for them, obviously.
There's quite a few teams that would come to events like this one, the Lancaster Archery Classic, and set up a booth. And the reality is I've probably learned more new colleges by being involved in archery and saying, oh, I didn't even realize that Rio Grande or Rio Grande in Ohio existed. So it's definitely a good marketing tool for them as well.
Right. Yep. All right. So does now Matt's going to go for an 11 here, right? He could possibly make it a 1-point match.
11.
Okay.
Yeah. 33 apiece.
So what you can't have happen now is go down another point.
Matt, why don't you introduce us to your coach?
My coach at University of Rio Grande is Jonathan Clemens.
And that's who you got in your box here?
Oh, in the
I meant this coach.
My bad. This is our GA, Jacob Suffrage. He was my teammate and one of my best friends at University of Pikeville. Then we transferred over to University of Ohio to follow Jonathan Clemens. And now he's our GA, and I've had him in my box as long as I could remember shooting for U-Pike, so.
What kind of advice did you give him? What'd you tell him before you came out here, Coach?
He knows how to shoot that bow. Nobody knows it better than him. He's worked really hard to get here, so super excited to see him up here again.
All right. Great shooting. We are still holding on to a 1-point match. Hunter Garrison leads 65-64. 2 ends to go. 12s are in play.
And PJ really summed that up nice. 12s are still in play. They have 1 each per end.
How do they, is it you select if you go first or second if you're the top seed?
Correct.
Yeah, you gotta want it's. I've always been a fan of going second. And for some reason, there was this wisdom in World Archery to go first, and all the coaches continue to teach that, and they're wrong. But here they figured it out that going second with the 12 ring in play is the way.
10.
Hit the deck there. There's a bow stand, I think.
Yeah.
All is well.
We have microphones that are facing each archer, so we get to pick up some of the stuff that happens. Yeah, it was just a bow stand.
Ooh, he
Again with the
yeah, he may have got it.
the tossed what?
The, well, I
Not
don't
Bo
know.
Kwon Do.
Gourmet salad.
The gourmet, no.
Bo Kwon Do.
Gourmet burger.
Well, that's the hair now.
Oh, all right.
With the lettuce and the
Right.
cheddar.
Yeah, yeah. The gourmet salad. Hashtag gourmet salad.
10.
Yeah, he didn't get it there. And it was a much smaller reaction. So I think that second one is going to be an 11. I think Matt might think about a 12 here, but he did not. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I think Hunter's going to have maybe 7. I didn't see Matt's arrow.
Can you imagine, like, having to have that like the pre-match scenario talk? All right, well, if this happens, we're going to do this, this, this. I'm not sure how many archers have done it, but over the years moving forward, there's going to be a lot of chatter because this is what year of the 12 ring? Our 3rd year of the 12 ring?
3rd or 4th, yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was the first year, and then last year everyone was stunned when Open Pro came out and did some stuff and started going for 12s right out of the gate.
Yeah, they knew they had to.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what I'm saying. After you take a little bit of time and think about it from that perspective, it'll be interesting to talk to some of these archers after the fact. Now, from like a bow company perspective, Steve, whether it's an actual manufacturer bow or like an Easton, or how important is a class like this class, open category, especially if you produce a compound bow product, that you see the size of this class between the Vegases and this tournament and some of the other. How important is it? It just
this the size of this class is a reflection of the industry, I think, and the market that we're building for. So this is where you want to grow it. You want a way for people to be competitive at all levels throughout, which is why like the Vegas flights are a great way to do it. A lot of people can win money, whether they're flight 1 or flight
24.
37, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is the class that you need to be healthy. You need to have the highest attendance in, and it's also very competitive. Guys need to have a way to feed out of this into the professional category and do so, in a, I would say an organized way, but right now that's not necessarily the case. And I don't know that it ever will be.
hopefully. There's always room for improvement. Just take some leadership, I figure.
And money.
And money. By the way, Matthew Russell from Georgia has called the 12 already.
Yep. Which is, yeah.
This is the last arrow.
He's got to have it to tie.
That's right. This to stay alive for a shoot-off arrow. A lot of movement.
Just left, I
Just
think.
left. Yeah. I think where Casey's sitting with the spotting scope. Casey Koffel, she's
yeah.
off to the left a little bit, so her view's going to be obstruct. Oh, he got it.
He got it.
I think he got it.
That's in.
Yep. Oh, where? He got it. Yeah, they just announced he got it.
His hype man's hyped.
Yeah, he is. He's going to rip those arrows right out of the bail. He's trying to stay calm.
Yeah. You got to ride an even keel in this game. You can't get down. You can't get up. You just got to be right in the middle somewhere.
So let's see. I think this is our second shoot-off of this tournament, and
Yes.
Hunter Garrison has been involved in both of them.
Hunter just.
Let's go rules.
What's he do?
Let's go to the stick mic.
Break the tie by a single arrow each for score. If the score is still tied, we'll do a second arrow for score. If we're still tied after that, we'll do a third arrow measured closest to the center. Okay, so one arrow at a time. You still have choice first, second.
Oh, boy. And he's back at it. Hunter Garrison already hit the 12. First arrow, we're going for score. Highest score wins. Tie score pushes us to a second scoring arrow. Third arrow will be closest to the center.
12.
And he hit the 12. Hunter Garrison goes for it right out of the gate. He's forcing Matthew Russell. Just shot a 12.
Just getting it.
This has got to be back-to-back 12s for Matthew Russell if he hits it. Last time
Big
was
bobble.
the closest.
Just out.
Yeah.
Oh, just out low. So the strategy for Hunter Garrison, hashtag I'm not scared, pays off.
He's controlling his own destiny, that is for sure.
He's gutsy. He's got a lot of grit.
Look at that.
Oh, ouch, that millimeter and a half, right?
Yeah.
Here's PJ.
$1,250 from us. Let's give it up for Matt Russell. Thanks, guys. Hunter Garrison survives again with a clutch 12 to take on our number 2 seed from Chesapeake, Virginia, Brad Baker Jr.
And this is a bad man behind a bow. This guy can flat out shoot. He is incredible. And yeah, I know what you're talking about, Steve. A lot of people think one tournament, one score, turn pro. But when you turn pro, you add a lot of different elements to it. Can you imagine this guy's got a full-time job and people were a couple years ago, turn pro, and it's like, wait a second, I get to go up against guys like Mike Schlusser, Fullerton, guys that have full-time jobs as archers that can do anything they want. Well, meanwhile, this guy's at a 10-hour-a-day job. And then you add the expense to it because shooting pro is a bit more expensive.
You gotta, yeah. I mean, your registration fees are significantly higher.
Yeah. You have more fees in terms of like being a pro, like your dues.
Yeah. Then
So-
think about this. Like when he shot the big score, 659. You know, there's like 5 guys a year who shoot that in the pro class or better.
Yeah.
It just makes you one of the bunch there. Brad Baker, though, very talented shooter, always has been.
11, 10, 9.
If he can get rolling here early, I think he probably wins this match, and I think he wins this tournament.
Okay.
And Brad Baker Jr., that's a good NASCAR name.
Is it though? Like 100%.
Brad Baker Jr. the third. That's
I
what
see what you did there.
Yeah,
that's clever.
It's a Dan Patrick joke.
Yeah.
He'd always call everybody who's a junior.
A third.
Yeah, junior the third.
Yeah.
It's not an original from me.
As we look at Garrison shoot, I saw off camera that Brad Baker made a little bit of an adjustment on his sight. The up and down.
Just giving it another toss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going for another click.
Yeah, he went a couple up and a couple left.
All right, so both archers have some arrow calls that we're going to have to find out, but here's PJ.
Welcome back to the Lancaster Archery Classic final stage. How many times have you been up here?
This is the 5th time.
5th time. I know we've seen you up here pretty regularly. 5 times. Does it get any easier?
No, not even a little bit.
All right, Brad, let's run through your equipment setup.
All right, so I'm running a new Hoyt Concept X, bee stinger bars, bowfinger sight, bowfinger scope, ultra view button, gold tip arrows, triple X's.
Pin knocks, which?
Gold tip pin knocks.
All right, Brad, congratulations on making it back to the stage. We got our judges making some close calls down there. But Hunter Garrison put down a 33, perfect first end. And there it is.
So both of those got upgraded. Both those arrows upgraded. So it's 2 points after the first end of 4. Now the shooter who wins this match going to advance to shoot against our #1 qualifier. The person who doesn't win, guaranteed 3rd spot. Podium appearance.
Really long hold here for Hunter. Made the most of it.
Yeah. Now when you look at these shoot-up finals, regulation is 12 arrows, and Hunter Garrison has yet to shoot 12. He shot 14 and he shot 13 so far to get to this point.
Yeah, he's jumping right on Brad though. Brad's just not quite finding it right now. That's the thing we mentioned. You know, the guy's been up here a while, gets a few matches in, gets comfortable, and the next guy comes up and they need to have a fast start every time because they're at a disadvantage having not been shooting on this stage and warmed up on this stage. Brad's he's just going left. So a lot of times that can be like a peep sight lens combo. You get a light refracting somewhere that, you know, can cause you a little bit of issues. So it just depends. It might have been a great setup for out there in the bright lights or in the normal lighting conditions, and it might be something struggles here where you have the darkness around you. And then it just wasn't a good shot there.
Brad Baker on the struggle bus at the moment for him. But the other thing too is, you know, you're talking about a right-handed shooter and a left-handed shooter. Steve, if you were in this situation, it's because Garrison started on the position he's in. Then he got moved off the spot. But would you want to face him? Would you want to face that left-handed shooter and try to give him some winks and some nods and intimidate him? Or would you just rather be in your own zone, your own focus like Baker is and has his back to his competitor's back?
I don't know that I would care. I'm not going to look over at the guy and, you know, look at his face, stare at him longingly or anything like that. But I might let him go stare at the crowd. I don't, you know, for Hunter's out here, he's been smoking 12s. He's comfy.
Yep.
All is good. You know, I called Brad for the win here, and I might have, I had no disrespect to Hunter. I just, you know, he's proven me wrong big time. So.
Yeah, but also, you know, like.
I called Brad for the win with a caveat if he came out fast.
Well.
So.
If he came out fast, and he hasn't, and that's the thing. It's when Brad, I remember Brad being the #1 qualifier and came out here, and he was shooting against someone who had worked their way up from the 8-7 position. And he jumped on him early, and Brad was just pound, pound, pound. And so I think it's different when you come in as the #2 versus the #1. But regardless of that, it's a different year. It's a couple of years later. You know, those nerves, the different lighting from the practice range makes a difference.
Yeah. I mean, you could come in tomorrow and do the same thing and have a vastly different outcome. It's just sometimes archery is like what side of the bed you woke up on makes the determination.
You're not kidding.
It can be that finite. How much water you drink the night before, that's a bigger factor than people think.
Yeah.
You know, staying hydrated and.
Or drinking caffeine in the morning, or.
Yeah, just getting out of your routine or blood sugar change. Stuff like that can make a huge difference. And then you know, your attitude about going into a high pressure match too. Some people, they talk about being nervous, and the like the mental coaches would tell you to flip that into excitement. Excitement is positive, nervousness is negative. They're very much the same feelings though.
Yes.
So if you can even tell yourself it's excitement, you take a positive approach to that shaky, uncomfortable scenario where you're just not feeling like you normally do when you're trying to be stable at full draw.
12 called for Baker.
Yeah, he knows he's got to go jump on him here.
11-10 line, but really delivers. 12 has been called.
Brad's got to have this one. He's going to need some help, and he's going to need another one. Just high.
Just high.
Darn it.
Went for that 12.
It's just one of those things, right? You're just going to grab a couple clicks just because.
Yeah. He's been chasing it the whole time.
Let's see what PJ has to say with him.
12. Do you practice those at home?
No.
No. And what do you see when you're looking down there?
A lot of shaking.
You're covering up the dot totally as well?
No, I'm running a 10 thousandths pin, so I'm fit just inside the 12 ring.
All right. Brad went for it on that end.
Can you tell us a little bit more about 10 thousandths pin? Like, are there varying sizes that you can get with a fiber pin?
Yeah, so in a pin, what he's looking at in his scope is it's a little post sticking up. They would call it a pin sight. And it's got a fiber optic in there, and that fiber optic is 10 thousandths of an inch, so pretty fine, very small. Oftentimes you need to light that up artificially, or find a color that will light itself up and you like looking at on a yellow target face. Most people will run that pin with the post from the bottom up, and 10 thou is really fine, so it's really fine aim. He would be able to see that 12 ring with a 10 thou pin. Other people will use a dot. We talked about that. A dot, you might do that around 60, 80, 100 thousandths of an inch, so it's pretty big, and you're using that to cover the entirety of the 10 ring or more in the yellow. I'd say that's the two most common. They're kind of opposites, but it just depends on what guys are accustomed to.
And they make bigger fiber pins too?
Yeah, you could get a fiber pin 15 thou, 19 thou, 29, 39 thou. So that's an option, and I don't know if any of the guys this afternoon are going to have that, but like I want to say Mike Schlosser has always shot a pin around 29 thou.
It's pretty big.
I've seen Stefan Hansen shoot a pin that's 39 or 49 thou, like a really big pin.
Wow.
I have shot a pin for some field archery stuff, and I always went a little bigger, just out of preference. But all right, Brad's going for the 12
for the glory of it. Yeah.
See him get one, and
not enough points on the board for him to.
No, but he's still going to walk off the stage with third place, $1,650, and he got a 12 out of the endeavor.
Great way to finish there, Brad.
Here's PJ.
We just said one good shot. We'll hear our judge Curtis, though, call it out. We like the excitement.
Yeah, that expression on his face says everything, even though he hits the 12. So a 130 to 124 victory for Hunter Garrison in his first regulation match so far this tournament. So he's had 14 arrows in a shoot-off, 13 arrows in a shoot-off, and now 12 for the victory. Here's PJ.
All right, Hunter Garrison again moves on to take on our #1 seed from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, Eli Bartron.
Oh, Eli. This kid has been working his way up through the ranks. He's a good shooter, big personality. Love to see him as the #1 qualifier. Let's talk a little bit about how he got here. He was your #1 seeded qualifier after the 660 round. He shot a 653. And then in his first elimination round, he dropped a 131 out of a possible, what, 133? No,
132.
132.
Yep.
Then a 130 and then a 128. That gave him, he was actually tied in points with Brad Baker at 1,042 total points. But it was when he dropped his first X that was the differentiator. So Eli comes right out of the gate, shoots a half shaft 10. But this
guys have been low.
Yeah, this guy's nice and warm. He's been moved from side to side to side.
11.
Knows exactly what he's looking at.
Could be the match already. You know what I mean? Like
Could be,
you get in a hole, and now you're going to be forced to go for a 12. And yeah, Hunter's just been solid.
9.
Ooh, and I say that, and the script flips. Hunter with a 9. We are all square. Eli got a shot at it here. There he goes, front center, perfect center.
Confidence. Here's PJ.
You've been up here before.
No, I have not.
No, you haven't. Okay, but you've shot the Classic before.
Yeah,
Okay. How many times have you shot the Classic?
a lot.
A lot. I thought so. I recognized your name. So how's it feel finally getting up here to the stage and as the #1 seed?
Pretty good. I mean, feel like we had business to handle this weekend, and that's what we're doing now.
All right, I like that. All business. Well, Eli, run through your setup for us here. What do you got?
Well, if you just want to read the tags are on the bow.
I didn't notice that. Well, all right. He's got the PSE Duo X38 with SE2 cams. Is that for good luck, or did you just buy it like 10 minutes ago?
Bought it a couple weeks ago, and I said I'd leave the tags on it, and I did, and now we're up here. It was a joke. Then it actually happened. So, yeah.
Well, perfect. What do you get? You got a Shibuya sight. What's your scope there?
It's a Shrewd, Optimum 29, Easton Halcyon stabilizers, Shrewd mounts, Freak Show rest, got an HBC release.
What are your arrows?
They're Easton, 2712s.
And strings?
Factory.
Factory strings came with those cards there, the bow cards. All right, so after our first end, Eli holds a 1-point lead, 31-30.
Look, Steve, okay, I have left a tag on my bow for the last 5-6 years, all I'm saying.
You're the OG of this.
Apparently.
Yeah.
There
now
was
all the
there
kids
was
are gonna
there
do
was
it.
one guy, I was in Vegas and I had the tag on my bow, and this dude reached down and ripped the tag off. Said, "Hey man, you left the tag on." I was so ripped. I was like, dude, what are you doing? By the way, for Eli, when asked if he had any family in attendance here in the shoot-up, he put down no clue. He's really a funny kid. He's really a funny dude. When you get him off the stage and off the nerves, yeah, he'll get after it.
No clue.
But I can tell you one thing about Eli Bartron. He loves archery. He is so passionate about it.
Always been around it.
His family got him into it, and he just loves the thrill of shooting.
They got him into it, then they left him here alone. Maybe.
Apparently,
maybe.
he doesn't know.
9.
Dang, he's had a couple of bad arrows, but you know he's been able to work his way back in. Trailing by 1 now. See if Hunter can capitalize and work his way back out of this end and pick up another point, maybe. Hunter's shots are looking less and less comfortable. Some of these he's holding long. You know, that long hold really tests the tensile strength of your bowstring chords.
It certainly does.
10.
Whatever that means, if you heard that, don't rack your brain trying to figure that out. Even Steve doesn't know. All right, so 10. 61, 62. And let's hear a little bit more from Eli.
He's been probably one of my best friends for the past 5-6 years now. So shot with him a lot when he lived here and he moved back home. So, and he's been out here, so I have someone here that knows what's going on, that can kind of guide me through what I'm going through, because right now my legs are not cooperating with me. So yeah.
All right, Jared, yes, you've been up on this stage before. How's he looking?
He's sitting pretty solid. It's one of those things, you don't know what it is until you're up on it. You can try to tell him how everything's going to go, but it's a unique experience. Once you're on this stage, it's like you wouldn't think a foot up in the air makes any bit of difference, but you'd be surprised.
All right, Jared. Appreciate you, man. So going into our third inning, we now have a 1-point lead for Hunter Garrison, 62-61. Let's hear it for these guys.
Halfway through this match to decide who's going to be 2025 Lancaster Archery Classic champion in the open category. And we have a 1-point difference. Both shooters, I think, starting to feel the pressure of these last two ends.
You're shooting for $5 grand out here.
Shooting for 5 G's.
That's a close one. We don't have a good view of it, so I'm not gonna guess.
No question on that one. I have bindos.
Yeah.
You wanna look from where you're at?
Yeah, I'll take a look. Eli's shot right there. When he's got a strong, confident shot, it's quick and it's piped middle. Hunter looked good on that one. Yeah, you can see kind of a difference in Hunter's shot from one where he's holding too long and one where he's in his more natural state of timing, and you know, he doesn't have to give it the bow kwando or give it the toss, any of that. But so we got a couple of tight ones. Hunter closes with an 11. Eli really needs to finish with 11 here, and I hope he's got one in. I'm gonna say Hunter's first one is in.
Good one. Okay.
I'm looking through your. These are nice. These are Zeiss. Wow. Zeiss, man.
And they're only 10 by 40.
Yeah, but stable.
Yeah.
Good image, clear.
Yeah. The SFLs. Right. Yeah. Big fan. Been great. And they're small and light. They're great, unbelievable indoor. And I've used them for field. Okay. 93, 94 potentially.
I think Hunter's going to get that. So he's going to go to 95. Okay.
Yeah.
Eli went to 94. Here's the, let's see. Yeah, there it is. So 1 point.
33 apiece. So still 1 point in this final end.
All right, so Jared and Eli are going over the strategy. I'm pretty sure Eli just said, I'm going to wait till the last arrow, you know. And
yeah.
That's the way.
I mean, he's young. He's probably listening to the commentary on the phone, you know, on his phone.
It's
third screen, probably getting advice from Steve Anderson.
He's a smart kid. I think he would know what to do.
Yeah. We know what Hunter Garrison's going to do if he gets to a shoot-off, that's for sure. He's just going to tag that 12.
11.
That's the start he needed. Don't give up any points. He's in the hot seat right here where he's got to lead the way.
10.
And that's the tough part there. Now Eli just took a lot of the pressure away. You got to keep it on him until that last arrow. Then you go blast a 12 and tie things up.
11.
Good ninja kid.
That's right. Hunter Garrison trying to go from 5th place to 1st.
11.
So 11 wins it right here. Here we go. Got to hit 12.
12 lit. Come on. Okay, here we go. It's going to tie it up. We're going to go to a shoot-off.
I would love it.
Oh, that was so quick.
See, it's so hard to aim at that.
And it's so quick. I just have to think some of the nerves. But still, great to see Eli up here as the #1 qualifier. But how about Hunter Garrison from 5th to the win and the 2025 Lancaster Archery Classic champion. Let's go to PJ.
And our champion, running from the number 5 seed all the way through the rest of the field, $5,000 from us, $1,500 from Bowtech. Hunter Garrison is your champion. Hunter, how does that feel?
Amazing.
Were you feeling fatigued at all through that? You seemed to hold it all the way through.
No, I think just the nervousness got me through that one.
Tell us about the last arrow, 11, 11, 10. Were you feeling it on that last shot?
I was shaking.
So where's this rank in your, all your victories? Does this compare to Thursday night winning the beer money?
That's where we're headed now. So pretty good.
All right, Hunter, congratulations. You are our 2025 Men's Open champion.
Feels amazing.
Wow, incredible match, and he had to do it in a couple of shoot-offs. It wasn't an easy road for the 5th place seed to go to the number 1, but he gets it done. Our new 2025 Lancaster Archery Classic Open champion here from the Spooky Nook Sports Complex in Manheim, Pennsylvania. It's the largest indoor archery tournament on the East Coast, and coming up after this break, Women's Open Pro, and it is surprising who's going to be there, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back.